Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Today I am revisiting something that I did almost 2 years ago to the day, and that is the coaster caddy that I put out. The video did really well, and I've sold many of copies of these files on Etsy. A lot of people have been using them, selling them, and that's great. I'm glad I could help others improve their sales and their businesses with this. However, the number one question I've gotten from this is, do you have anything for rounder hexagon tiles? And so they are a little bit different, and you could put the round ones in here, but it's just a little awkward, you know, kind of like putting a round peg in a square hole. Does it fit? Sure, but we can do better. As well as some people really like using these hexagon tiles, and that's a unique shape in its own. So we're gonna take a look at that today, see what we can come up with, and maybe at the end I'll have some files to share with you as well. So if that's something you're interested in, want to find out more, stay tuned. I'm gonna jump right into it. So let's start off by talking about materials. A lot of this is going to be dependent on what's available to you, but I'm going to give you some options that are shippable so that even if you don't have anything local, you can still complete the project. Now, a lot of these are going to be size specific. You can make some adjustments, and I'll kind of address that with each style. Some of them are going to be easy to resize, others take a little more redesign because of when you change one dimension and the thickness of the material, it often has a bit of a snowball effect on other parts. So people that have been following my channel for a while know I've really been liking my Baltic birch plywood, although it's gotten harder to find in reasonable prices recently. There are some alternatives, but it is a good kind of utility material. It works well for this because it is durable, but in this type of project, you're definitely going to have to finish it. And so that adds some complexity to it. In lieu of that, to make this a little bit easier, both in adding some color, but having finish, true flat plywood is a really nice option. They have multiple veneers. These are the three popular ones I like to use in maple, oak, and walnut, but they also have some linens, some whites, some blacks, and hopefully down the road, we'll see other wood species as well. But this is a well-engineered material. It laser cuts well. It's very consistent, and it's fairly durable. However, this only comes in 1/8 inch varieties. And so in some of our designs, we might want more of a 1/4 inch material. And for that, I have some Pure Bond project panels. You can get this from Home Depot. They do have a kind of a poplar or a very light density core, and then they have a thin veneer. They have multiple species options. This happens to be cherry. They have birch, walnut, and a few others. It's unfinished, so you will need to sand any vaporization off there, and then you will need to finish it to complete your project. But it does give you a nice option in close to a 1/4 inch variety. They have one that's close to 1/8. I think it's a little over an 1/8. But they do have both that are available as well. And then of course, if you have the availability or want to order it in, solid woods are a great choice. This is from Okuch Hardwoods in Wisconsin. This is an 1/8 inch cherry panel. This is gonna be more expensive, but it's gonna have kind of that natural wood kind of variation in the look and design. Some people prefer that over the plywood veneer type. So that's definitely an option, but again, you'll want to make sure you get it in the right dimensions for these projects. So let's start looking at the various designs that I came up with. Some of these were inspired by others. I try never to outright copy anyone, but there's, in some cases, only so many ways you can make a similar object. So we'll start out with the very basic one. I'm calling this just the simple cross caddy, and it is simply two pieces that interlock together and then have kind of these upward supports. The nice thing about this, that is, it only, when you cut it out on the laser, you can kind of place them in there such as this. And it only uses about 6 by 3 inches material. So a good way to offer a very simple caddy and maybe use up some of those scraps. Now, if you really dial in your kerf on this, you can actually get it nice and snug to where it's just a friction fit. You don't even need to use any glue. I used the xTool S1 for cutting out all of these, and for this one with the 40 watt module, I ended up using a 0.09 kerf offset. Your laser may vary. I actually have a video on trying to figure out your kerf for your laser and your material, so if you're interested in that, just search my channel for that, or I'll try to include the link down below as well. This one will fit both the round or the square tiles, not necessarily the hex ones. So these square tiles, they will just fit in such as this. And so if you have a cool tiles like this, this one was actually printed with the UV printer another cool video you might want to check out. But these will sit in here and it will hold it fairly snug. I can kind of tip this on and shake it around. They're not going to fall out. If that's a little snug for you, could scale this up down a little bit, but you do just need to kind of keep in mind that middle notch. Then of course the round coasters will also fit in there. The nice thing is they will go in any orientation and they will basically just sit in there nice and snug as well. Again, if you need to resize these, scaling it isn't an option. The critical part is just this middle section. You want to make sure that that is the thickness of your wood. I can pop these apart, there we go. You just need to make sure this notch is the thickness of your wood and that that notch goes halfway, and then these should sit in together really nicely. So this one makes it very easy to resize for any material. So for example, this is done in the Pure Bond 1/4 inch material, that cherry worked out very nice. This is done in the True Flat. And again, had to dial in the curve to get a nice tight fit, and it works well. I would caution you at the 1/8 inch size though, these are probably gonna get a little bit fragile. So if you're doing it this way, you might wanna double these up and then still keep that 1/4 inch notch in the middle. I've got an 1/8 inch notch for this one, but the tiles will still fit in there and it will support those. But at the 1/8 inch, it just, this style gets a little bit fragile, I feel. So, but a nice simple way, very minimal material to use, and you have a nice caddy you can include at almost no cost. So keeping with the round tile theme, as well as being able to use almost any material, kind of came up with this stacking design. I've seen some others similar to this. And the idea here is this circle is just beyond half of a circle, so it's still gonna catch the coasters. But the nice thing is you're just stacking material, so you don't need to make any adjustments to the file to use any other material you might have. You just need to basically take the height of your stack of coasters, divide it by the thickness of your material. That's the number of layers you need to stack them up. And so the nice thing here, again, you can put your round coasters in and they won't fall out that way because that kind of half moon goes just a little bit beyond half and starts circling around again. But it's still easy to pull these in and out. You also have the nice option that you can include a nice engraving on the bottom as a way to kind of upsell these. Now the other nice thing is these are easy to scale because they don't need to interlock, you're just layering them up. If you have some slightly larger or slightly smaller coasters, you just size this hoop, you just take the whole file, rescale it down until it fits the diameter, up or down, and then you just stack them up. So these are easily glued together. You just gotta be careful as you're assembling it that you get them all lined up nicely. Now, if you want a little more fancy design for round coasters, I made something with a living hinge. And so we took the True Flat material, and in this case, I used the walnut for the living hinge side, and then the, looks like this is the oak for the base and the rim. So it gives that kind of nice contrast look between the two types of woods. This is where using the True Flat or another pre-finished material is really gonna benefit you in the fact when you cut all these living hinges, you're gonna get a lot of kind of that vaporization on probably the backside. It's a lot of heat and a lot of stuff getting cut away in close proximity. Now, if you do this in Baltic birch, which you can, you're gonna have to clean that up. These become very fragile until you get them glued together. Like this, they're fairly sturdy. They're glued on top, they're glued on bottom, they're kind of locked in place. But when they're an actual living hinge, it's very flexible, they can stretch, and if you stretch them too much or you bend them too much, they will break. So with this, it's nice that you can just take a light cleaner and like a terry cloth or a paper towel if you need to, and wipe all that vaporization off. It does come off fairly well. I use, as a matter of fact, alcohol is maybe a little too aggressive. LA Awesome cleaner works okay, or I use this crystal clear lens cleaner. Again, I'll have those linked down below, but they work well without leaving a lot of staining or digging into that finish too much. So just a light cleaner gets them cleaned off. But the nice thing is these do fit our tile coasters very nicely. They'll sit in there really well. There's just a little bit of flexibility so they're not too snug. and it looks kind of nice. As I mentioned, here is the Baltic birch version. This was my test piece. And so you can kind of see on the inside there's all that scorching. That would be hard to kind of clean off. Now, when it's assembled like this, it's actually easier to clean that off because you could get just a light sandpaper on there, and it's going to be held in place better this way. But using a pre-finished 1/8 inch is going to work better. 1/4 inch material, and this is going to be tricky because as you get thicker, the living hinge material doesn't work as well. The other thing is you can't just resize these slots indiscriminately. You need to make sure this inside dimension stays the same. So you need to make sure this expands out. So the overall circle would also have to be a little bit larger. So for this style, 1/8 inch or maybe 3mm material really is going to be what works well. All right, moving on to our hexagon tiles. Started out with, again, a super simple design. This one is just 4 pieces. So it's just the base and the tabs, slot tab, glue in place. And with this true flat material, there's no finishing, it's just clean it up. And I did use some Starbond CA and some accelerator with these. The only key here is you want to make sure you get these vertical. If they're angled in, you're going to have a little bit of a catch on these, but if you get them vertical, they do hold fairly well. So this is another simple one. It only uses about 7 by 6 inches of material, so it's very inexpensive, easy to do. You could do this with Baltic birch as well, and you could scale this up for 1/4 inch without too much hassle. You would just need to increase the size of these tabs, but you need to make sure that it doesn't go in this way, that everything moves out, and so you'd probably need to scale this hexagon base tile up just a little bit to make sure you have enough meat there to get a 1/4 inch tab in there, but not as much of a hassle because nothing else interlocks with these parts. So this definitely holds the tiles well, and they're easy to pull in and out here. So a very simple style. I didn't want to leave you with just a simple caddy like that, so made a little more fancy one. Of course, we're using the true flat 1/8 inch material here, and instead of just doing the walls, we're doing the corners on this one. And so we have the pieces, they're just tab and slot there, and then I kind of have a layered top. So the top one also keys into it. You can kind of see the tabs and slots there, but then we have a solid piece on top just to kind of dress it up. And so again, I used the maple and the walnut here to give a nice contrasting look. These just drop in place and they're held in very well, and that works nice. We can also add maybe some hexagon designs in these panels, or you could add more rectangular or whatever design you want. You could also engrave on those, but again, just kind of making it a little more fancy, a little more dressed up, but still able to hold these coasters in place very well. Now this one, if you wanted to stack it up higher than 4, you could easily stretch these out as long as the tabs don't change, but just the length of it works. It's not going to change anything else on these, so you could make these a little bit taller if you needed without really having to do any redesign work. Now, if you wanted to do these in 1/4 inch, you'd really have to rework the whole file. This base piece would need to be wider, your tabs would change, and then these corner pieces on top are also going to change. So it's not quite as simple as just using the slat tab resize tool in Lightburn, but you could do it. But I think at that point it might look a little too bulky. So again, 1/8 inch or 3mm materials, probably going to be your best bet on this one as well. So I did use the xTool S140 watt pretty much exclusively for all of the work on this project. With the true flat material, I was averaging around 16 to 17 millimeters a second, running that at 100% power, using the auto air assist on it. And all the projects came out well. I was able to use some basic cleaners to clean up all the smoke and vaporization that was left on the material, came out very clean. On the Pure Bond material, I was using around 12 to 13 millimeters a second. Again, 100% power. And then I did have to do a little bit of sanding on those parts just to get the vaporization off. But making sure you clean the honeycomb regularly so you don't get as much flashback, having good air assist, and as well as having good airflow and extraction. I've been using the AP2 smoke purifier from xTool for a little while now. Wanted to give it a really good test before I really said much on it. I've tried a number of different smoke purifiers, the smaller desktop ones from manufacturers. They generally work well right away, but then quickly start getting clogged up. The airflow starts slowing down, and then the smoke starts not getting evacuated. The AP2 has a nice cyclone separator at top and then 7 layers of filtering. And so far, I've got quite a few hours on it. It's running fairly well. It is a little more expensive than the others, And it's great when you tie it with some of the newer xTool machines that it auto operates when it turns on and off during a job. But you can also run this standalone, manually turning it on and off. And so we'll be looking at that along with a couple of other air purifiers to give you my thoughts on that in a separate video. But so far, it has actually been exceeding my expectations as far as running it in my basement shop and actually keeping the air pretty clean. So that's what I used in this project. If you have any questions about that, go ahead and let me know. And I will have links down below to all that in case you're interested in checking them out for your use as well. You asked, I came up with some options. There is some round tile caddies, some hexagon tile caddies, and hopefully this inspires you to get out and make them. I will have the file packs available for these on my Etsy store for a small cost. I'm trying to maybe even bundle them all together to save a little bit. Otherwise, if there's just single ones, I'll try to put all the individual files out there as well. So once again, thank you for watching this. I appreciate you being here, but I hope most importantly, you get on your workshop and make something too. We'll catch you next time.